Presidential candidate Donald Trump joined Maria Bartiromo this morning following his recent town hall meeting in New Hampshire. Immigration was a key.
I know how to build. I know how to get it done. We'll have a great wall. We'll call it the Great Wall of Trump. We'll have a great wall, and it can be a good-looking wall, as walls go.
Trump wants to make it more expensive, long story short, for companies to hire overseas workers. With me now, Democratic strategist Christy Seltzer with me. She is president of New Heights Communications. Republican strategist Cheri Jacobus. So, Cheri, first of all, can you, as a Republican strategist, define this immigration message and what it means for the party?
Well, I'm not really sure what his immigration or illegal message is, but I can tell you that a lot of it is great for the applause lines. A lot of it is really great red meat. And it's very controversial. But what Donald Trump has done is what the politicians in Washington have been doing for 20 years. There's been at least 5 times where they have, talked about building a wall or a fence, but they throw in all the controversial stuff with it, whether it's amnesty or mass deportation or all these other things in between, which means that we don't get border security. He's playing the same game. I don't know if he knows it, if he's smart enough to know he's doing that, or he thinks his supporters aren't going to understand it. The only way to get the border wall for security, which we almost everybody wants, is not that controversial, is to have it be a standalone bill. He or somebody else is not going to have any credibility with me and with a lot of people on saying they're serious about a wall or border security until they make it a standalone, and stop trying to tie it to all these other things to help drag it in. We could have had this wall years ago, and in fact the Obama stimulus spending bill could have built a wall several times over. So at this point it's great for applause lines, but I don't even think he's serious.
Okay, you don't think he's serious, and he did, as you allude to, he did say that he was being facetious, at least about calling it the Great Wall of Trump. But Christy, what is your take on what this means for H-1B visas? Because as far as the business community is concerned and the tech community, this is where it is. I mean, the H-1B visas, for people who don't know, these are the skilled workers. These are the programmers. These are the coders who come here from China, who come here from Russia, who take classes at MIT and at Stanford. But then once they finish their education here, they have to go back. And there is an argument made by all kinds of people on both sides of the aisle that this is essentially kicking people out who would otherwise create companies here and hire people here.
That's right. We're talking about not just curbing legal immigration, but we're talking about kicking out sort of what we would consider the best and the brightest. And so that's a policy that I would think not just people in the tech community, but even people like, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce would consider pretty draconian, a big step backwards. However, it is no more draconian or sort of insane than some of Donald's other policies regarding immigration. Obviously, I don't believe that Mexico is going to build a wall to keep themselves out, and I certainly don't believe that Latinos in this country are going to vote for a man that, calls immigrants rapist. Some of the other things he's talked about are equally out there. Obviously, today when he's talking about revoking birthright citizenship, that's something that, would call into question the citizenship of, say, Bobby Jindal, Marco Rubio. So he's pretty out there right now.
So, Cheri, getting back to you, what did you make of Trump lashing out at Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg and calling Florida Senator Marco Rubio Mark Zuckerberg's senator? Obviously, Florida, California still far apart, maybe same weather patterns, but this idea here, of course, of tripling the skilled labor visas.
Well, first of all, I think we're quite used to Mr. Trump being inappropriate in the name calling. It's one thing to really stir it up with the debate, but that will probably be his downfall. But when you're talking about these technical workers, these skilled workers coming in, and if you want to start, Mr. Trump was also talking about playing around with the wages, increasing the prevailing wage. And Republicans overall really don't like the government getting involved in that sort of thing. Let the market dictate it. We don't like it when the unions and through Davis-Bacon Act have a prevailing wage that they play with, and that came about to keep African Americans from the big federal contracts, decades ago. So there's a lot of things that, I don't know why. I actually did not hear that he said that about Marco Rubio, but at this point, I doesn't surprise me.
I was just going to say, love him or hate him, as we say, we are talking about him. Christy Setzer, thank you so much. Democratic strategist at New Heights Communications president and Republican strategist joining us there. Cheri Jacobus, thank you very much, both of you, for joining me.